I'm getting ganked, I need support over here, I need support.
Hi everyone, and welcome to today's edition of The Screening Room. And as you may know, I really have a special guest with me this week. This is Miss Ju.
Hello.
And she has graciously lent me her time, and we're going to be talking about this week's mega movie called The Batman. So before we start, just want to have a brief word of caution to our viewers out there. If you have not seen The Batman, I would strongly advise you to leave this video right now because we will be talking mega spoilers, correct?
Spoilers.
Yes, spoilers. Is that how you do spoilers?
Yeah, spoilers.
So right off the bat, we have a murderous scene, and the world of Gotham is painted in this film in a very bleak world. You will notice this film is predominantly quite dark. Among all the films, starting from 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton and Tim Burton, all the way down to this Batman, you can see it becomes progressively darker.
I saw this meme actually where they put like frames of the Batmans from all the beginning. Like 2022, it's like just this bare silhouette, rim light, and by like 2025, it's just black. We just don't see Batman anymore.
I mean, that being aside, I personally feel that this particular film did in a way capture what I thought Gotham was supposed to be and feel like. It feels like Gotham was a character by itself. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's raining all the time. It absolutely looks like a city that devours you. Pretty much what Singapore is right now.
Singapore dystopia.
This particular character, we know someone from the comic books, right? This character is called?
The Riddler.
Yeah, you know, in the old comic books and even in the TV show, the Riddler is always being portrayed as someone that's wearing a green leotard with question marks and he's dancing around like a clown. The only reference I actually do remember is Jim Carrey from the previous Batman films, but this Riddler is different.
Right. He's more fit for the modern world, I think, the online digital world.
So the modern world is murderous.
It's like a modern world serial killer. I feel like he fits it so much better.
I just can't help if viewers out there, if you have seen Seven, if you have seen The Zodiac, and if you've seen Silence of the Lamb, I mean, this particular film elevates the Riddler in that sense of the word, like a real serial killer.
It's so dark, it's almost horror movie-esque. Yeah, and that's how I felt watching the film.
Based on what she said, horror movie-esque, do you agree that this film is a Batman / comic book film, or more like a serial killer / detective thriller kind of film?
I feel like it's a serial killer film with Batman as a detective. That's how it feels to me.
Viewers, if you agree with me, if you've seen the film, we most probably can agree on a few things. Namely, number one, the music score.
Oh, it was so good. Michael, holy crap, brain lag. Michael Giacchino, I'm so sorry, I forgot your last name for a while. He also was the composer for Up, if everyone remembers that song Married Life. He composed Batman. This film, it was so good. It just rings in your head. It's so... It's something to remember.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. I think the music score was phenomenal. It really pulls you into the world and it really never lets you go.
Right, it's so menacing. I feel like it gives Batman so much weight and power. Like, it really elevates Robert's acting in here. The score, the underscore.
Speaking of the man of the hour, Mr. Twilight himself.
You know, he hated playing Edward. He hated playing
Well,
Edward.
he has to sparkle.
I've never seen Robert Pattinson in any other movie before. I'm so sorry. I've never seen. I've only known him from Twilight. So to see him in Batman, a completely different genre, I was a bit skeptical, but wow. He pulled it off. I think was so surprised.
I absolutely have to agree. I mean, he really looks the part. I mean, he was very emo as Bruce Wayne, and he's very emo as Batman. As a matter of fact, Batman is Bruce Wayne, so he is Batman emo all the way. It's good, but I just wish I could have seen a little bit of how he played Bruce Wayne as Bruce Wayne, the boy billionaire, rather than Bruce Wayne, the Batman emo wannabe.
That's true. I feel like there's this one scene where Alfred comes along and he says, "Oh, you have to meet certain people," right? And we don't get to see that. I really wanted to see him, present to people as Bruce Wayne.
So as much as we like about the film, as much as the film is, I think, considered quite a masterpiece, we need to address some issues. There are some parts about it which I think, to me, I think it's a question mark.
Question mark, just a minor nitpick, just makes you go, huh?
Yeah, I think there are some plot holes which I kind of observed, and I think one of the plot holes which I think was cinematic, goal, is the way that Batman introduces himself when he enters the scene. I'm not so sure about you, but if someone else is in trouble, I will not be walking that slow to save that person. And this not just happened one time, it happened a few times. I know that it's a cinematic approach, and I think it works. But if this film was supposed to be like a grounded approach to The Dark Knight, I think they may have just flipped it the other way. It's like, I want to be grounded, but he takes too long to get to his victim to save that person. That's one thing. How about the part whereby they were at the funeral in the church?
Funeral church. Oh, right, that part. Oh my gosh, the bomb squad.
Yeah, we have another situation whereby the Dark Knight takes his time to even enter the church.
Right.
But that's not the issue here. The issue is that the Riddler was on the phone, and it's obvious that the bomb is about to go off. Now,
Right.
I'm not so sure about you, but the last I checked, Batman is not bomb-proof.
No, point blank range.
Yeah, it was not bomb-proof. And the next thing we know, he wakes up at a police station with lots of police personnel looking down at him.
Police that don't like him, mind you. They don't like this guy.
Right, they don't like this guy. From the time of the explosion to the time that he goes to the police place, why didn't they take off the mask then?
Right? So you're telling me, like, the ambulance, nobody got a little bit curious in this perfect world where we really respect privacy? Come on, no. Mark Zuckerberg would want to know who Batman is.
Yeah. So I mean, things like that kind of nudges you a little bit. And the last part I want to address is the Riddler himself. Throughout the whole movie, he's been trying to do murders, or at least expose the corruption of Gotham City, because he thinks that he's at work with Batman on this. So he leaves clues and kills the corrupt person. So that seems to be his method of operation.
The whole point of his murders and his targets are to send a message about the corrupt government forces, which makes me question the ending.
Right, so the ending has this weird situation whereby he places bombs around the walls of Gotham and explodes it, allowing the sea to enter and flood the city.
What was the
What's
purpose?
that?
What was the purpose of that? Why?
Yeah, so that kind of seems a bit odd with his actual intent.
Right, because what's the point of, what message are you trying to send just flooding the whole city, you know? Like, up till then, part of me could side with the Riddler because I also understand in his own sick, twisted way, he's also a vigilante, trying to do good for the system. But then he bombs the whole area, and now it's like, I feel like he just devalued the whole message of the Riddler at that point.
That's true. I think there's one scene that I just want to put it out there. Do you think the Riddler knows that Bruce Wayne is the Batman? There seems to be a scene in the movie that kind of implies that when the Riddler was behind Arkham Asylum and the Batman was on the other side of the glass and he's trying to integrate the Riddler.
I love that scene.
Yeah, that scene was wonderfully shot. But then later on, after taunting the word Bruce Wayne, he mentions to the Batman that he is the only one that we did not get, which means to imply that the Batman and Bruce Wayne are two separate people.
I think, in my opinion, based on the confidence that the Riddler delivered, I think he knew that Batman was Bruce Wayne, but the script itself was meant to be a bit ambiguous, where he wants to let him know that I know you're Bruce Wayne, but also make you question, do you know I'm Bruce Wayne? What do you mean he's the only one?
I think that's a very good catch. And
Right.
I think that's plausible, but when he blows up the seawall, that totally throws that theory off the bat. If he, the Riddler, knows that Bruce Wayne is the Batman, the best revenge is to let everyone know that he's Batman. Then he will nullify Batman itself.
Right.
By having to mess with someone doing a prey, you need to be in a position of power to mess. Now that he's behind closed walls in Arkham Asylum, he doesn't have the power to mess with Batman. So in a way, he's at the losing end. So for him to be locked up and can't do anything about it defeats the actual purpose of that scene itself. So it's
That's true.
how would you end that?
How would I end it? Man, it's tough because I feel like he had the power to just expose Batman. If he really did know, right? He has this whole dark web social media gathering
Yep.
behind his back to help him execute his little entourage thing.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. You have this plant, which is this mayor that we've been introduced for at the start of the film. And we have this idea of her being perfect as compared to the other candidates. They've been quite trashy. So if he just like exposes her for something, I don't know, could that shake Batman up? His opinions of these people, even his own father, like has been challenged. His views are being challenged.
Right, ending on that note, his father, I mean, the whole purpose of Batman being Batman is because his father and mother was gunned down when he was very young, thus robbing him of a family. This film hints that his father was corrupt, that he
Right.
wanted to put an end to a reporter that was trying to ask him some inconvenient questions.
Right.
So if Batman now knows his father was corrupt, even though in the storyline he makes a mistake, doesn't that make Bruce Wayne being Batman null and void?
I think that is what they're trying to go for with this Batman. With the ending of the film, him taking up more of a hero stance symbol, dropping the "I'm vengeance," a vengeance stance. I like the idea of his hero arc changing from vindictive and punishing to more of a rescue, because I've never really seen Batman rescue people before. Like that was a first for me. But this was a new side of Batman, a really new side of Batman. He wants to be Hope now, which I really like the idea of. Nobody's good, so I'll do it myself.
Right.
You know?
I think Batman should run for mayor.
Bruce Wayne should run for mayor.
Bruce Wayne, mayor.
Oh my
Vote
God.
now.
Exactly.
Vote for change.
Should have happened. Batman 2, Bruce Wayne for mayor.
But before we end, we want to, in a way, in our own fair objective, either grade or rank this particular film. Our final thoughts. For me, I think this film is close being a masterpiece. As a standalone film, it was beautifully shot. Every frame looks like a painting. It was well acted. Robert Pattinson blew me away with his emo portrayal of Bruce Wayne and Batman itself. This was a Batman film that truly really showed what Batman is, the world's greatest detective. There was a lot of detective work,
Right.
and
I
not
love
so much
that.
of Batman work per se, which I'm okay with it. You know, it's a film that really allows me like, what's going to happen next? I wanna, you know, it's like that's basically what we go to the movies for, is to entertain, to be involved, to be intrigued. I personally really like this film. I'm going to rank this film an A+. What about you, Miss Jill?
For me, I feel like the Batman, within this sea of Batmans, right? We've seen all the movies from Christian Bale, Ben Affleck. This Batman was such a breath of fresh air to me. This new take, the more grounded, I feel like we're closer to the city of Gotham this time. We really felt like we're facing a social issue in this real breathing city. The world building in this was just excellent, and I cannot. Technical aspects of this film, masterful. Cinematography, beautiful. Stunt work, so good. That is like Daredevil, Punisher level. Stunt work, it's so good. The choreography and the sound design. I feel like people don't give credit to the sound design enough. I remember sitting in the theater watching it. I was sitting in the center, and that's like the perfect space to get perfect sound perspective. And the moment I heard the Batmobile, I had an eargasm. That was so good. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, children.
Personal enjoyment. I enjoyed this film so much. I've got to give this an A++.
So there you have it. It's an A+++ from the two of us for the movie The Batman. So go and watch it now if you have not. And if you have not watched the film and you are still here, I feel sorry for you.
It's a good film. I hope we convinced you.
Yeah.
I hope we convinced you.
Yeah, so if you like this review and if you like this channel, please click like, subscribe and join our family. Also, please click the notification button if you want to be notified of any future videos.
Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of this film as well. We'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts. I'll be reading them. Let me know what you think about, Zoe.
Yes, so before we go, I'd like to thank Miss Ju for being our guest
Thank you for
reviewer.
having me.
Yes, thank you very much for being with me here. I thoroughly enjoyed this particular review, and to all of you, thank you very much. Come back soon. The room is always open to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.